This video explains troubleshooting procedures for the motors and PCBAs in the LM2130SP and LM2150SP mowers. The procedures are the same for all models, but the part numbers are unique. Please note that the main and self-propel motors in these units are brushless. This means the troubleshooting procedures are different from mowers with brush motors. With the battery in the mower, press the start button and squeeze the bail switch handle. A flashing yellow light on the mower suggests a faulty main PCBA or a bad DC motor. Green lights on the mower and the battery indicate that there is power. If none of the lights turn on, proceed by testing the fuse. Remove the battery and service cover from the mower before proceeding. Remove the fuse from the housing and disconnect the yellow plug. Set a multimeter to resistance mode and touch the pins to each end of the fuse. If the resistance is infinite, the fuse is blown and must be replaced. With all of the wires connected, attach the battery and look for a flashing green light on the smaller main PCBA. This indicates that the battery is correctly attached. Next, switch on the LED headlights. If the green light continues to flash or turns off, the main PCBA assembly is broken and must be replaced. If the light is solid green, the smaller main PCBA is good. Proceed to the next step. With the battery removed, separate the main PCBA from the mower by disconnecting the black and yellow plugs as shown here. Use the multimeter to measure the MOSFET in the main PCBA. You may need to cut the zip tie to access the connectors. Set the function to diode mode and touch the red pin to the black contact of the yellow connector. Then use the black pin to contact each of the 3 terminals of the black connector, one at a time. If the reading is outside of the range shown here, the main PCBA is broken and needs replacement. Otherwise, proceed to the next step. With the multimeter still in diode mode, measure the MOSFET in the main PCBA. Touch the black pin to the red contact of the yellow connector. Then touch the red pin to each of the 3 terminals of the black connector. Measure the voltage one connector at a time. If any reading is outside of the range shown here, the main PCBA is damaged and must be replaced. A burnt smell from the motor indicates that it should be replaced. If no odor is detected, proceed by disconnecting the long black plug as shown here. With the multimeter set to resistance mode, measure the resistance between any 2 terminals of the motor plug on the motor side. If any measurement is infinite, the circuit is open, which means the main motor is damaged and must be replaced. Before testing the MOSFET in the self-propel PCBA, remove the potting to expose the fuse inside the board. Test the fuse for continuity, then proceed to the MOSFET test. Unplug the 2 yellow connectors as shown here. Measure the MOSFET by setting the multimeter to diode mode. You may need to cut the zip tie to access the connectors. Touch the red pin to the black electric contact of the yellow connector and touch the black pin to each of the 3 terminals of the yellow connector, one at a time. If any reading is outside of the range shown here, the self-propel PCBA is broken and needs replacement. Otherwise, proceed to the next step. With the multimeter still in diode mode, touch the black pin to the red electric contact of the yellow connector. Then touch the red pin to each of the 3 terminals of the yellow connector, one at a time. Any reading outside of the range shown here indicates that the PCBA should be replaced. The customer may report an issue with the speed control. It may be stuck in fast or slow, or the self-propel feature may not work at all. If the PCBA is good, the speed control switch should be replaced. This is part of the handle assembly. To diagnose the self-propel motor, check for a burnt smell. This indicates that the motor should be replaced. If no burnt smell is detected, use the multimeter to measure the resistance between any 2 terminals of the self-propel motor plug. If any of the measurements are infinite, the circuit is open. This means the self-propel motor is damaged and must be replaced. Please refer to the EGO service diagram and parts list for specific parts needed for troubleshooting and repair. Always use genuine EGO parts.